I'm just here because you're one of my great mates, and it's an interesting podcast and an idea that we all thought about. Seated last year, you're like, yo guys, I'm gonna be doing this, so for me to be part of this journey that you're putting us on is like, I'm thankful, and I actually hope you succeed.
Thank you. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the It Tribe. I am your host, Liz Awino, and we are still on the Pushy Queen movement. Today I have a person who's actually my friend, and I think it would be best to allow this person to introduce themselves. Welcome, Nkosi.
Yo, what's up, Liz?
What's up? How are you?
I'm good. It's nice. It's good. How are you
Welcome back to
doing?
the island.
Oh,
Welcome
thank
back.
you. It's been long.
Yeah.
It's weird when you come back. but
Really?
Yeah.
What's different?
You know, when you change your mindset of how you're moving with life.
Yeah.
then
I feel like a lot of people get that.
Yeah.
Like every time somebody goes home, they always come back, oh, I feel so fresh. I'm just like, okay.
No, not necessarily fresh. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like,
Mhm.
I did a lot of traveling this past holiday.
Dirty December.
Nothing dirty. You know, like helping my dad. You
Mhm.
know, helping my family.
Mhm.
Because I'm a very family-oriented individual.
Okay.
So I was doing a lot of things at home that required me to jump from SA to Swaziland.
Mhm.
And then I went overseas, of course. So I gained different perspectives.
Mhm. That's really good.
I was like, damn, this is how life looks like. And when you get back to Ireland, you gotta continue with that same energy that you put.
I think that's the challenge. That's where the challenge. But no, let's go. Let's take it easy. Turn it down a notch. Okay,
You know what
so
I'm
the
saying?
basic system of how we do the podcast is I ask you maybe one question, and then we go into a quick fire this or that question where you just answer really quickly. But the first question I'll ask you is, what's your most used emoji?
My most used emoji.
Yeah.
Damn, if I say it, you'd
Is it a
also.
love heart?
One of those. I love stickers, hey. I'm a sticker individual these days.
No, I'm asking an emoji.
So
I love
emoji
stickers though.
is the pointy thing.
This, like the finger, like an actual finger.
The
Why?
actual finger. Why?
Why are you like pointing at people? What are you pointing at?
I
Over
want,
the phone.
yeah, like I want you to feel my presence.
You know that? Yeah, the one that looks like it's poking out of the phone.
Yeah, that one.
So you just send one like that.
No. I send that with another emoji. So when I say happy birthday, for instance, I'm saying happy birthday
to you.
Yeah.
Energy. That's very extra though.
It's not. You feel like, okay, this person.
I would feel so attacked. Like,
would you?
yeah.
As other people start putting them out, like they put like stickers that are like, bro, why are you pointing at me?
That's what I mean. Like it feels like an actual attack. Do you mean happy birthday or like like those people from what Spark?
Yeah.
It really feels like that. It's giving that.
No. For me, I was like, you know what? This emoji was just something about it that like caught my eye. So I was like, you know what?
Means you like violence.
Bro, not to an extent. To an extent, no. But hopefully, I will explain it to people moving forward that I'm not directly pointing at you, but I'm saying it's like, inshallah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the game.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
You're gonna answer it really quickly.
Okay.
You're not supposed to think. The moment you say we move to the next part, you can't answer it. Okay.
No problem.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Introvert, extrovert.
Extrovert.
Single, taken.
Taken.
Never be able to speak. Have to say everything on your mind.
Never speak.
Change your past. Control the future.
Control the future.
Deep thinker. Deep feeler.
Deep feeler.
Okay. Continue. Predictability. Excitement. Always late. Always early.
Late.
Movies. TV
series.
Walking or driving.
Driving.
Lose all memories from birth or unable to make new memories. Lose all memories from birth.
No, I'm lying. The second one. God damn, that's deep.
Unable to make new memories.
Why are these questions so lopsided? Like at the end of the day, it's like, wow. Lose all memories at birth.
Mm-hmm.
At birth, lose all memories. Yeah. So you've lived your memories?
No, lose all memories from birth.
So like every day?
Like you've met me today and it's gone. Tomorrow. Like the moment you get out of this house, it's gone. Like it's gone. Even if I told you something really nice, it's gone.
Oh yeah, you know what, bro, that's not bad.
So that means you can't really have relationships though.
Oh, I only.
But you know that's a really good thing
But
because you don't remember. So it's like you're meeting them anew every day.
I know this might sound like I need a lot of help, but that was me launch maturity in my life.
Do you want us to unpack that?
Pardon?
Do you want us to unpack that?
We'll talk about it in a bit. But let's go, let's go, let's go.
Okay. Know an uncomfortable truth or believe a comforting lie.
Nah, uncomfortable truth, because that's just me.
I roll. Never be able to cry or cry about everything.
Not be able to cry.
Break someone's heart or have your heart broken.
Break someone's heart. I'm sorry, baby. Nah, I've experienced it one too many times, so.
You be the accuser. Hmm?
What? Nah, yeah. Don't mind being the bad guy.
That's very scary. The fact that you're my friend and you're saying that in front of my face, I should also be very worried.
No, man. But created a bond, so I'll probably be.
After you said it in Beyonce's internet.
I don't mind what the internet thinks. That's their own perception of you.
But you just didn't know. You just break someone's heart.
Break someone's heart, dead ass.
That someone could be me.
No, I'll try my level best not to. It's the thought that counts.
It's getting worse. Let's move on. So the first part is before we talk about anything that you're doing now, we like to go back to the start.
Where it all began.
Where it all began.
Yes.
Tell us more about where you grew up, how your family was like, the dynamic, your siblings, and what you basically did when you were growing up.
Yeah, no, let's go. So I'm Nkosi, hi everybody.
Main character.
Main character
Okay.
vibes, yeah. I came from Swaziland, formerly Kingdom of Swatini, not Swaziland anymore. Family of four. I'm the eldest, got a younger brother. At a young age, my dad taught us, you know what, you guys are not gonna be mama's boys. I'm sorry to say it like that.
Yeah.
And he meant it. So as soon as primary ended, he sent us to boarding school. Boarding school, we really came back home. Probably come back once, twice a year.
Yeah.
But I understood what he was doing at a young age.
Yeah.
So for me, it was painful. It was quite impactful. So yeah, there's a lot of trauma to it. However, it did teach me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have that sense of attachment that I do to my parents that I used to.
Yeah.
So when I do communicate with them now, I'll talk to them like adults. Like I know there's a sense of respect that as Black culture we should formulate and have towards our parents, but something that makes sense for me. I'll say in a very respectful manner. I'll sit them down and I'll allow them to know the way I think and the way I want to understand.
Yeah.
But in terms of the family dynamic, I have cousins from my dad's side.
Yeah.
Yeah, so since I have cousins and whatnot that have kids,
Yeah.
so my uncles and aunts have kids, like you get designated a particular cousin that you have to look after.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like it's an actual thing.
Yeah, that's my black tax. Like you see black taxes normally pay for all the everyone's sins.
Yeah.
Yeah, not my dad was like, you're not doing that shit.
Okay.
So for my uncles and aunts, my dad is the firstborn in his family, and they five of them. So I look after my uncle. He's the youngest. So I look after his kids. So they think the second oldest boy looks after the second born's kid. So forth. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The alteration. So then the third looks for the third last, and then the middles look after each other.
Okay.
So necessarily should anything happen to my youngest cousins, these are the babies, the cream of the crop of the family, No one can touch them. Period. So yeah, those ones I have to look after. So should my uncle die or should my dad die, I'm responsible.
Yeah.
For them, my mom, my brother, and my aunt and my kid.
How does that feel?
It's a lot. When my dad told me after high school, I really didn't process it. I laughed at him because I thought he was just saying it in passing. And then recently he was like, "Bro, you finishing soon? I see you have a plan for yourself, but I do need you to realize that what I told you 3 years ago, it still stands. So if I die, you have to look after me.
Yeah.
You have to look after your brother. You've been doing it, So if you're able to look after your brother, you look after them when you're here anyways. So like past December, they stayed at my place for a solid 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't stay in the main house, by the
Yeah.
way. We have two separate houses.
Is that like a cultural thing or just your parents' decision?
My decision.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I told my parents to look straight up. Like, I haven't been living with you guys for close to 8 years now.
Yeah.
There's no point in me living the same roof as you. You're gonna tell me, and we're gonna start clashing.
That's a very smart and wise, way to go about it.
It's more from an independent perspective.
Yeah.
I'm not totally dependent on my parents. So they would stay with me at my house.
Yeah.
So we'd sit there and chill, play PlayStation,
Mm-hmm.
go look after the cattle, go play with the livestock in the vicinity of the area. Yeah, it's like learning to look after them again because it's not something I hadn't done when I was a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my cousin, the youngest one, I actually looked after him when I was in primary. Baby, so literally go to my uncle's place after school,
Mm-hmm.
babysit him, stay with him for days. So
Wow.
yeah, there's a sense of connection that I have. So he's like my mini me. Yeah, so he's my mini me.
That's really cute.
Yeah.
And I think it also shows a certain sense of responsibility. Like that starts from a really young age because at first when you're told you're supposed to take your son, so like you said, it's kind of hilarious because it's like, what makes you think that I can take care of somebody else when I can't even take care of myself?
So
But then just the acceptance of the actual responsibility that this is what comes with family and this is what comes with being a part of the family is also very important.
now
Yeah.
that's one thing that made me very family oriented. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that I was doing it from a young age, and that my older cousins do the same, even though they're not present at times. They do make the effort to check up on me. Just because I'm in the same country, that doesn't mean we're not family at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as a family can be treacherous,
Mm-hmm.
the love and the bond that you get from them is something that you hold onto yourself for life.
Yeah.
So for me, that's one thing I like about my family dynamic. As much as there's a lot of hate,
Mm-hmm.
especially from my mom's side, I've just taught myself I can't let that affect me because I've seen what it's done to them and how
Mm-hmm.
they treat one another, and I don't want to be in that type of atmosphere because in the same way that they project their feelings onto you, you indirectly do that to the next person.
Hmm.
So
So how do you get to the point where you actually saw it for yourself that this is destructive?
one of my cousins died.
Really?
Yeah, but she died because of HIV, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then as soon as my grandparents died, because they live with my grandparents,
Yeah.
their mom was an absent mom. She just have kids everywhere. Yeah, now you understand. Now you understand me. I was like, you know what? Nah, this is not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I took that decision in that moment, and I said to myself, I don't want this to be me. I saw what it also did to my mom, because now she had to take up the responsibility of being a parent to them, and also be a parent to me, and also be a parent to my cousins on my dad's side, because she's the Swazi culture, and when you're the first wife and your father's the firstborn, you
You get
basically,
married to the family.
basically,
Yeah.
you're married to the family. So she was like, bro, my allegiance has to change.
Props to her.
By force.
That's one of the hardest things that I feel like even as women, people don't really talk about.
Mm.
That when you're getting married to somebody, I was watching this podcast called Nice and Neat. I'm pretty sure I told you about
Yeah,
it.
I remember.
And this guy was saying that one of the difference that we have with the developed countries is people get married to the individual. But then in Africa, when you get married to somebody, you're not getting married to them as a person. You're getting married to the family. So you have to be acquainted with what they're doing, their customs, their cultures, and just understanding how you fit in to the family
That's true.
because the family will not adjust itself to suit you. Nope. You as a woman need to come in, learn what they do, how they do it, and why they do it, and follow suit. Because families, like you said, are quite complex, and there's more to stuff than just what you see.
Mr. I, I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you, like that's the biggest obstacle I saw, and she'd explain it to me because I've also come to that age where she's like she can just tell me anything, even if it upsets her. She said like, "Yo, your grandparents are not what you think." Like, I never understood when she said that.
Yeah.
Like there are certain things that these guys will never tell you that I tell you. But then I said, but it's equally as you saying that your family was also similar. Like I knew more, like they both, rest in peace, they both passed away. But
Mm-hmm.
I saw things that they were doing and I was like, you know what? I know I was young, but I didn't want to say too much because I just learned to observe things.
Yeah.
And as much as an omnivert that I am, like I do always like suss out my environment because
Mm-hmm.
that's once you learn to live alone, you learn to realize that you need to be aware of what you're doing and what other people are saying about you. Like I may sound like paranoid or sound like I let other people influence my environment, but that's not the case. But you need to understand the individuals that you sit with.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't have that emotional intelligence, then you're
And
never
it's
gonna look
chai
at
for you.
yeah,
Like it's gone.
you're never gonna understand how life really is like.
Mm-hmm.
That's what life is now. It's about knowing the people that you're around
Yeah.
and how they positively or negatively influence you. Because you may think that they have a positive influence towards you,
Mm-hmm.
but when you sit down at night and you're alone in your room, I'm sure they're thinking like in your heart this is not what you want, but with your mind you just like I'll just go with what it says.
That's the thing. And I feel like it takes a lot for people, I call it introspection. It takes a lot for people to just sit down in your
Mm,
quiet time for even 10 minutes, turn off everything, and just sit and think, like, where am I?
what am I doing?
What am I doing? Because we tend to run away from the actual realities of life, of how complex it is, how people influence us directly or indirectly.
Mm,
And so now you find that you move on autopilot and you don't even understand why the hell you're where you are. And it's not even just the fact that like someone is influencing what you do because people say, I'm not easily influenced. No, everybody's influenced by somebody or something.
mm,
It's just sometimes it's conscious, sometimes it's very subconscious.
yeah.
And making sure that you bring your subconscious thoughts and you make them conscious is where
Because
the hardest part comes in.
yeah.
Because everybody is influenced by something, but very few people know what influences them.
And identifying that it takes a long time. And not a lot of people realize that up until they either leave boarding school or they leave their parents' house. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I know some very few individuals, and as much as they went to boarding school, they thinking is very linear. Like I'm sure you've spoken to a number of individuals that
Mm-hmm.
and they can live with their parents, but have learned their parents allowed them to think, openly think, and see life from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Other people only learn that once they leave the house because certain African parents, majority of the time, will not allow you to think like that.
Yeah.
What they say goes point blank.
You see, and I don't think that's what really works in the world actually at all.
It's very
Because you need
few.
to use your head.
Yeah.
It's very few environments, like you're saying, that allow even African houses that allow people to think, to voice out what they think. Because that's why you find a lot of people are depressed or suicidal. It's not
Mm,
because they can't think, it's just because they've never been taught or given the environment to express what they feel or what they're thinking. Like something
mm,
as simple as your mom just telling you that, bro, this is what is going on. And as much as that may be like, okay, then why are you telling me? But it's like she's giving you an opportunity to also be like, but this is also what I see. It's like it's an invitation for a conversation. But then there's a way that someone was telling me, I think I did an episode with someone, it was a conversation where someone said they felt like when they were growing up, everything was painted as good and perfect.
mm,
But then growing up now, and you start to analyze like what exactly was going on, because there's always feelings that you get when something is not right.
yeah, true.
Even if the how people want to portray it may look good, your feelings pick up stuff. So it's like a lot of people actually grow up in environments where it's like you pick up stuff, but then you not give them the opportunity to say something because you're termed as a child, and as a child, you need to follow what your parents say, that type of thing.
Mm, mm,
So, like, you grew up in Eswatini, and then you went to boarding school in South Africa.
yes.
How was that like?
The transition,
Yeah.
I went during a time where Zamophobia was at its highest,
Yeah.
2015, 14 around there. Yeah, it was quite high. So for me, I'm getting there and now Zulu's like point blank pointing at me like where you from? You know,
Mm.
like one thing you must understand, like in any environment that you go into, people always know that you're not.
Yep.
Always, people always make that misconception that I can blend. You can't. You can't.
They can tell nose, I don't know, height, how you look. Like they always, even before you say a word, they'll know.
Honestly, that's exactly what happened. I just told them straight up, I'm from Swaziland.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but outside of the xenophobia that I experienced in my first year of high school, I actually touched on racism. Like, as I was so close-minded with regards to racism.
Mm-hmm.
I had never experienced it. I was just like, hey, not doing my thing. I was just happy. Hey, I get to hear saying it's a whole different ball game. Like you go through racism, you go through mental health problems, and bear in mind these are boys' schools. The
Yeah.
boys' schools in South Africa at that time aren't saying to you, "Yeah, we're gonna talk about it." Nah, these people are like straight up like get golf clubs. You're gonna cry. I'm gonna beat you more with a golf club. Like initiations. Yeah, I was crazy. I think like I got that tough mindset or like
Mm.
that tough demeanor because your initiation, the first 3 years that you go through high school,
Yeah.
it's the worst thing that you'll ever experience
3 years,
in
you
life.
said.
First 3 years.
Why is it so long?
Well, first year you're junior, right?
Mm-hmm.
The junior, you basically they own you.
You wash clothes.
No, like whatever, like you're assigned a senior.
Like by the school.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
What was that movie? I'm from South Africa.
Blood and water.
Not Blood and Water. The one from our childhood.
Freedom is coming.
No, not that one. It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, you assigned a Spud. Have you ever watched Spud?
Yeah.
Okay. You should watch it. It's basically how boarding schools are like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, it was like Spud. Exactly what you see in Spud. That's what we're doing. That's how we're raised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was terrible, but you learned a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
You learned it, and that's what I learned from that is that what you see in Spud is exactly what you see in real life. In
Mm-hmm.
high school, South African high schools.
Mm-hmm.
People are gonna be like, yeah, some high schools it's much better now. It's much better now because they've made it relaxed because money controls high school.
Yeah.
When I was there, even if the person who had money would still get decent. So power.
Yeah.
It was equality. When I say equality, it was equality. The only problem was the racism.
Mm.
They always had something against black people. And when I experienced it for the first time, being called the K word, you know, not even learning was hard because now
Mm.
they also demoralize you once you're learning. And it was never an environment where you felt like you could learn. But if you're a South African, those guys, they'll thug it out, I'll
Mm.
look at them and I'll be like, but how are you able to, push past it? One of my friends, a closer guy, was like, the moment you start to allow what they say to you affect you,
Yeah.
then you let them win.
And how old were you at that time?
I was 15, 14.
Damn. And how old was that person that was telling you that?
He was the same age as me.
Damn.
And there was another Swazi guy there. He didn't care, right? There were only two Swazis at school.
Mm.
Like Swazis don't go to. So a lot of times Swazis don't move out of Swazi, and it's only now.
Yeah.
Right? Since the financially people haven't been independent in Swazi. They had closed-minded things. So for me, I'm there with this other Swazi guy. Hey, but I can see this guy has been going through it the most. Like, he's gone through racism. He never explained that to me. Never really sat me down and be like, "Oh, you must watch out."
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, I don't need to watch out. I got to think I'm a top dog. I was,
humbled.
I was humbled. And one thing that allowed me to actually thrive was sports.
Okay.
That was the only time I could like actually take out my frustration, especially in practice. So I know I love soccer at the time. I love soccer, but then sometimes in this world you need to hurt someone, right?
There goes the heartbreak.
Yeah, not like heartbreak, but when you want to hit something, right?
Yeah.
But you can't hit your pillow.
Okay.
Well, for me, Yeah, I don't know for any other these other people in the audience and how
Mm.
they express themselves. For me, I was like, you know what? Is I needed to take my anger out of something. I went to gym, I went to rugby. But when I met rugby, I was like, damn,
This is the place.
this is the place for me. Being able to tackle someone and know that it's within the law of the game, I was like, amazing, amazing. You're going against a person that weighs 100 kilograms and you're
Yeah.
tackling them. And I was like, I was proud of that. You know, I got injured along the way. I got concussed to
Yeah.
a point where I had to stop playing rugby. But in that moment, like during that period from in high school, I was like, that's the only place I found happiness. And then I became a war cry leader.
Mm-hmm.
So then, yeah, that's also was fascinating. I have no honors in like academic achievements. I was not him. I was someone that would. I saw my path as being someone that's going to at least empower them.
Okay.
Yeah, I was an indirect leader. Like I had more authority than the guys that actually had the badge.
I actually get that though. I'm not surprised.
I was like, you know, someone if someone was like, "Yo, you got punishment for him tomorrow," and he'd be like, "I'm not doing that guy's punishment," I'd be like, "What?" I'm like, sorry, sir. I was like, "What did you say to him?" And he'd be like, "I said I wanted, I said I was gonna do this." Like, don't speak under your breath. What did you say to
Say the chest.
him? Yeah, honestly, yeah, like for us, it's violence. Like they even said before we left, they're like, we're weeding out the dead fruits.
What?
Yeah.
That's wild.
After my year, it went downhill. Like they became super soft. I'm sorry to say it like that.
Is it that it became super soft or it just became healthy?
Not healthy. Like a lot of these guys, they don't treat teachers with respect anymore.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
So like, imagine this guy's gonna come talk to me with attitude. Like, who do you think you are, China?
Well,
Now it's just like you have to find like I mentioned in our conversations passing. Like, but back then, like you can't talk to me, like, but now you have to find a way for them to understand what you're trying to say.
yeah.
You can't say the same thing or ring the same bell and expect the person to understand the bell sound.
Mm.
Fact of the matter is that what happens today. That's why you have to actually understand the surrounding the individual that you sit with, and that's what I enjoy personally.
Learning people.
Yeah, learning from people and learning how they behave. You know.
That's organizational
Yeah,
behavior.
organizational behavior, exactly. So for me, it's like I actually found happiness in doing it. Organizational, I did quite well in it. I know how I did so well. But for me, even when I go out and I sit with people, I'll be the guy that sometimes keeps quiet. Sometimes I'll talk. But now I've just taught myself, just observe the
Look.
environment, just look. And you learn a lot from just looking. That's what my dad says to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
Mm-hmm.
my dad, right? Like I was like, this man, how the hell does he go through life? I was like, please, just if you want peace in life, just look. He's like, what? He's like, if you want peace in
And
life,
that is so true.
please just look.
That's so true.
And that's when things will come to you. I was like, what?
I like what you just said because most of the time we're always trying to make sense of things that think people say like life just happens.
Yeah,
Like whatever is meant to be will be. Whether you participate in it and whether you don't, it will still happen.
that's
It's
correct.
not for you to actually choose when it happens. It's for you to observe. And that's
Mm,
why last year I learned this thing that someone said life is an experience. You either take part in it or you observe or you keep quiet or you don't do anything. It
that's
will
true.
still move.
Mm,
The less that you can do
the
when it
better.
comes to life, the better it is. The awareness that like I'm just a factor in the whole of life's experience for other
Mm,
people as well and in my life. Like there's this thing that Caesar said. He was like, life is just moving and I just have to participate, I guess.
yeah,
It's a real thing because it's like the people that hold on to life the most are the ones that suffer the most.
that's true. That's actually true.
Because if you just let it be, you will actually realize you go through 24 hours in a day with the conscious awareness that whatever will be, and you will be okay by the end of the day.
Yeah, true. That's facts. Like you, Sarah. That's I'm telling you. Like
Yeah.
I literally, honestly, that's how I've been moving life. Like when they say times two when you listen to a voice note,
Yeah.
that's me.
Mm.
I'm not on 1.5. I'm not on 1.5. I'm on two x. Like
Yeah.
that's me right now, and I'm also living by that saying by King Sokuda, the one that I told you about earlier.
Yeah. I feel like you should just read that quote.
Yeah, that quote, I'm genuinely living about it. The one that goes, "He regards himself as my enemy, cannot succeed because I spend no effort in getting closer and closer to him."
Which king is that?
That's King Sokuda the second. That's King, the
And
previous king of
I love
Mashal.
that quote.
Like honestly, if I was someone that believes in tattoos, I would actually tattoo that onto my arm because
I
I would
will
be able to
reserve my
live
comment.
it. I think it's a fear factor, like of what's this word of having to live with it, knowing that that's part of you now.
Yeah,
That's commitment is what kills,
for life.
for life.
At least I made a commitment to something.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But for me, if I had that quote on my arm, and every time I can see that life is throwing boulders, not even stones, and boulders at you,
But
I would probably look at that quote and be like, you know what? Whoever this guy thinks is my enemy of progress is not my enemy.
you're
I
not.
cannot see you as an enemy if you don't see me as the enemy. If you see me as it.
Like we were trying to unpack this before we started doing the podcast, and I think that's very profound because it's like just because you see me as your enemy, because he said regard, and I think that's the
Yeah,
word that just threw off everything for me because like you regard yourself as my enemy,
that's true.
and I don't see you like that, but I know that you think you're my enemy. I don't really care about you like that, but you think we're enemies. And for me, it's very baffling because I know there are some people that you hear this all the time, and someone like, they're ops. And I always ask people, how many ops do you know by name? Because a lot of people are like, there are so many ops. I'm just like, okay, if you have very, very, very many ops, say their names. Let us know them. No, say their names. But someone will be like, it's a feeling. What feeling? You're probably trying to create scenarios in your head of enemies or people that are going to, are looking down on you. And you know, there's no ops.
No.
You're your own ops.
And you've said it, hitting it on the nail.
Like, I just don't get it. For me personally, I just don't get it. Like, if you have ops, I swear to God, write them down. Know them.
By heart,
By heart. And stay away from them. Because why are you around your ops?
That's like that video. Remember that video, or the one that went, I'll be so happy when he dies. I'll even go and piss on his grave. That's the type of hate. If you have an op, have that type of hate in your heart. Because honestly, individuals are gonna come to me and say, "Yeah, that's my op." Like, bro, if he's your op, even when he dies, piss on his grave. Like Kanye West said it.
But I feel like people spend too much time invested in their enemies or their supposed enemies.
That's why we don't grow as individuals as black families. Because actually, there's a touch on the topic of black, black culture, black communities. Like, why do we hate one another? Just because you having a better experience or an opportunity that I never got to get. How can I better myself? Because I know that there are different obstacles that people went through to get to where they're going.
Yeah.
Other people had to be stabbed in the back. But why does that make you want to hate them? Even if their success has nothing to do with you and you're just living, or you just get given an opportunity that not many get. Yeah. Why is that someone has to die for it?
I think it's the perception of what success looks like. Okay, fundamentally. Because I believe that we have trained our minds to believe that successful people have done something behind the scenes to become successful. It's not hard work. Okay, so we believe that it's either juju or witchcraft or something behind the line. Okay, and we tend to forget that even the people that do witchcraft, they still go to work. Okay, they still go to work. I'm not in support of witchcraft or whatever it is. I'm just saying, because someone will come and say, but Liz, you're a Christian. Yes, I'm still a Christian, and you still have to accept the fact. Just because you think they're doing witchcraft, I said think. That doesn't mean that they don't go to work. It's not like those spirits are the ones that go to work for them. No. They have companies, they have real people. I think it was Kings of Joburg.
Yeah.
He was the one robbing. Of course, there were spirits that were at work in the world, in the movie or in the series, but He was the one going. Did you see a spirit going to steal for him and sell it for him? No, he was the one that was doing it. So it's like how we perceive success is so flawed that we feel like someone is robbing you something just because you don't have it. And also content, right? Because if you're content with your life, that doesn't mean that you're not striving for something better. Okay? It's like this is where I'm at right now, and I know I'm putting in effort for this and this and this. It will work, but I'm okay here. You
Yeah.
see? But then if you're always reaching out that like so and so and so is doing better, and so and so and so is doing this, or this family is doing this, and you're not looking at what you're doing or how far you've come, it's always like I feel like to a very large extent, and that's why you find that in families where there's like, two brothers or like four siblings, people end up killing themselves because of what's it called when someone dies?
Revenge.
No, not revenge. Will.
Mm.
Yeah. You find that people kill themselves because they don't understand the essence of one, money, and two, just what money can do. You understand? Because if
Yeah.
I give you $100, right? I can give another child somewhere another $100, and maybe they could make something double that 100 and make something out of it. And because you don't understand the value of money, you'll be fighting me, telling me, "Oh, I didn't give you the other 100 rupees. No, it's $100 or 100 rupees that I gave the other
That,
kid. I should have given it to you, so it's 200, and then you can go and do more." I think we've also just learned how to complain a lot
yeah.
without doing the work. And I'm not saying that people don't work. People do work, but we don't work with strategy. We try, like it's a trial and error type of thing. Like if this doesn't work, I'll find something else.
Yeah,
Some
that's true.
people die for certain jobs for them to work.
Mm.
It's the belief that this can work for me. And that's why we have like entrepreneurs, like we were talking about Aliko Dangote before we started.
Mm.
He makes money out of cement. There's some people that make money out of maize. Common maize. Common maize that everybody plants.
There's a strategy that they implement because, I mentioned earlier, it's like you can't be doing the same thing and you see you're not getting any results. So you have to change strategy. You have to change the way you're attacking it.
Yeah.
Because not everything is going to work the way you want it to.
That's
You
the
said
thing.
it. You said it earlier, right? To become an entrepreneur, to become a business person or a CEO, you always have to evaluate because your mind is always moving. Those are your words.
Yeah.
Imagine
Mm-hmm.
your mind is always moving. So if you see there's a problem and you see that no man, my circumstances aren't changing, then it doesn't mean that you have to go kill the next man. Because
Yeah.
that's exactly what's happening. And there's certain industries that may be closed, but they're not closed because it's controlled by a select few, which is the case in most industries. But it's a strategy that you take. Even if it takes you a long time,
You'll get there.
you'll get there.
The people that own what's it called? These big companies, TikTok, Instagram. No, Instagram is someone else. But like all of those big companies that we see, most of them are owned by really like not really old people, but like in their 40s, 50s. And they're obviously making so much bag right now, but they didn't make that at first. I think we also just have this perception, and I think it's also an African American thing. I was watching a podcast that was talking about it, where people have this weird perception of how life is supposed to be. Okay, and it has crept into, and it's weird because the American people, actual American people, they don't have that. They have the work ethic. They know they're supposed to work. They have strategy. What we lack is strategy, but we want the life that they live without strategy. And that's why I tell people before you want someone else's gifting, amount of money, success, anything, make sure you have the proximity to be around them to ask them questions of how they got it. Because we see that someone is successful. We don't think to ask how did they get there.
Yeah.
We just see, oh, all of a sudden they went to town and then they came back and now they have money. No. Some of these things have been in the works for 10 years. Just because someone discloses it in the last 2 years, that doesn't mean it's not been working, And I think that's just the problem. I call it pure ignorance.
It is.
It's pure ignorance because you don't want to change your perception of things. You don't want to look inside. And that's a very big problem in the African continent. No one wants to change themselves. Everybody feels like someone else is the problem for their own downfall.
Yeah, that's extremely true because it's just behavioral thinking at the way they view life. So when they look at something for example, on social media, they're sensationalized by that,
Mm.
by what they're going through. That
Mm-hmm.
they feel like they can do that as a quick fix.
Mm.
But also, that's not the case. You know, the certain sacrifices that they had to undergo to get to where they're getting currently.
Yeah.
And we also need to start to understand that. And that's one thing about young people, especially in Africa now, is if you educate yourself,
Mm-hmm.
start by reading, start by actually putting yourself away from social media in a way that only allows you to grow. Because social media in this day and age, you have to understand that algorithms is what controls what you see.
Mm-hmm.
And I spoke about it, like
Yeah.
how I read The Economist today.
Yeah.
We are being controlled by algorithms. What you feed yourself is a result of what you're going to get.
What you give is what you get.
You know, so if you're watching TikToks about dance challenges,
You will see dance challenges all the time.
all the time, if you're watching something that's related to something like digital marketing,
Yeah.
you know, and how digital marketing can improve the way you brand images,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to get that, and it's what you feed yourself. It's like eating food in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You eat what you like because you've been taught your body to do that. It's a habit now.
Yeah.
It's habitual at the end of the day. So it's the habits that we've created ourselves as Africans that we think we can hold on to those habits that it becomes a behavior.
Mm. Wow. So it's not even a habit, it's a cultural thing that we've turned into a habit.
Basically, like for instance, the fact that my dad was like, for you to be able to successfully, you still have to look after your family, right?
Mm.
So it also changed my way of thinking.
Mm.
Because initially I was gonna be like, you know what?
Screw you.
Not even screw you. Like I know y'all have money undercover.
Mm.
Y'all have two safety nets or something.
Yeah.
And we tend to take advantage of that we don't want to do anything out of our way to make ourselves successful. That's why Americans are successful because they realize their parents went through the most. They're using the digital age to make money, right? Very select few, like I know a very few number of people from Swaziland that actually made it out the pit, you know.
Yeah.
But they made it because they pushed. Like there's a few like off the top of my head, like there's someone, Melinda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can find on TikTok. I think it's just Melinda. Like she's talking about controversial things about how social media and how they're affecting your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So Melinda Mchuni, yeah, like she's a young girl, 21 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's on my TikTok feed. And I'm like, damn, but it's true. She's doing the most.
Yeah.
You know, and she's getting the views, but she's doing something constructive with what she's getting.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
her sister's got her own brand. She sells hair.
Mm.
You know, their their family is quite privileged, but for them, they've looked at this opportunity for them to, like, you know what, not to necessarily cling on to what they're doing for them, but
Yeah.
to go out of their way and create something for themselves.
Yeah.
Change makers. And we see them all over Mauritius, right?
Yeah.
But then we end up seeing each other leave because we all see that there's better success outside of the island.
Mm.
But the connections we make are the ones that teach us where we want to go in life.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't realize that right now and actually take advantage of the people that we're around that are actual change makers,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the person that's next to you.
Mm. That's it.
That's the funny part. It's the person that's next to you that I realize. Like I won't lie, right? Like I look at Amina, I look at Sir, like what the nine those lot did.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. They went home, they're doing their own little thing there, but they changed the game here.
They did. Mm-hmm.
I'll never take that away. Like, oh, everyone, Deepa's doing things that no one knows. Undercover, even if you don't see her, she's doing things. Like, people are moving here,
Yeah.
right? So, if you can't learn something from them and then try also see how that can improve you as an individual, then you're not learning. You know? Outside of books,
Yeah.
experiences goes a long way.
I said this in an episode before. I was saying that a lot of the times we think that the answer to our problems is in books. But the answer to your problem is in that one person that you're trying to ignore or that experience that you're trying to ignore.
Yeah, that's facts.
Because until you go through community sometimes, you may never go far. And that's why you find that right now there's like an existential crisis in people where there's mental health problems, there's loneliness, there's, I don't know, there's just weird stuff going on. And that's because we have neglected community. I keep on saying this, everybody feels like there's up somewhere. Not everybody is after you. Like, not everyone. If you just sit and you just analyze people and you find selected few out of the bunch of people that you feel like are your ops, you will find somebody.
That's true.
And it's like we feel like we have so much power over our own lives, but we don't. We one thing we don't realize is people contribute a lot.
That's true. You know what? What I also realized, right? We don't have a third home. Our generation doesn't have a third home. Let me break it down.
Mm-hmm.
We go to school, we go to work, then we go to sleep. We don't have that third base. Like, go to school, we go to work, and I can go sit with my community and sit.
Damn, that is true.
That's what our parents have.
That we don't have.
That we don't have. That's why we're not able to express ourselves a lot of the time. Because we don't know who to express ourselves, because we always feel like someone is going to use that against us. You know? But you also have to learn to grow out of that. Like, and as much as someone may have hurt you in high school, you must remember that there's another individual next to you that actually cares about what you're going through. You know? Like last year, I don't even lie to you, I'm gonna say it out loud. I went through a mental health crisis. Like, knowing you, like people would think, yeah, Ngosi's got money, he's working, you know, he's still able to juggle school. I was dead, guys.
Because I remember we had a conversation one time, and I was like, you need to quit that job. Do you remember?
I
remember
pushed
having
extra
a
3 months
conversation with
after
you.
that conversation. That's
And
the
I
worst
was
part.
like, Nkosi, the next time I see you, you need to have quit that job. Because I was like, I saw you, and I was like, you don't look like a human being. I have been in the same exact shoes that you're in, and I was like, this never ends well. Because I know the signs of a person that is burnt out, and you overstay in your burnout. I know how it looks. Because I went through the same thing.
Yeah.
Swad was the one who had to pull me out and say, girl, you need to quit that job. And she literally sat down with me. She was like, I'm counting days for you. Once you get that paycheck, you're out. And you need to be out. Because I couldn't function.
You really can't, yeah. And the worst part is the way you function is the worst habits ever, you know? Like the worst habits ever. Like, I was alcoholic last year.
Functioning alcoholic.
Functional alcoholic. Everyone thought, nah, you're just drinking for vibes. Or you just drink because you can pay for it. It's not because you can pay for it. Outside of just paying for it, there's a satisfaction that you know that you're not in the same world as everyone. Dead ass. I can't even lie to you. I was a functional alcoholic.
That's how horrible it was living in your own life that you just had to move up a notch.
Like, I had to leave. Like, I was so sad, and even sleeping, I was like, you know what? I can't do this. I need a bottle. And I'm not talking about Gibsons, bro. Like, you see when you get paid, I'm sure you realize that
the sweetest feeling.
You're not gonna look for the thing that's going to make you cough. You're gonna look for something you can be, you know.
Joe?
Yeah, you know. Like that Johnny Walker Black, that blue, the green, like bro, and you don't even think about it, like how much money you're spending or the time that you're putting towards that, and you're forgetting that there's a book, there's an assignment that needs to be written. I was lucky enough that my girlfriend was like, bro, as much as you're gonna drink. She said, she like point blank, quit that job and quit liquor. I couldn't stop those two because I realized those two were the only thing keeping me afloat. Because, yeah, low key, my parents, yeah, they're doing the most for me. So I realized, not the most, but in a bad way. Not in the most in a bad way. So I realized, you know, they're also not in a space where they're able to like functionally look after me. So I had to take on the role of having to look after me and my brother. My brother being man is in England, so a lot of the time I'd sometimes send him cash when he's done. Because a lot of shit was happening at home, excuse my language. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, financially I don't want them to worry about me. And they didn't worry about me. That 10 months, they forgot to even give me cash.
Damn.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah. And it was quite interesting for me. So I realized that My parents, even now, they think I can live like they could just like financially let me go, like yeah, we don't touch you.
Yeah.
And I know how to look after myself.
Yeah.
One thing it taught me really resilience, you know, resilience. Like that's not many things that people have these days. Is to be
You have to
resilient.
go through something really like transforming for you to learn the word resilient.
Because I won't like people tell you, yeah, you're a resilient person. I'm like, guys, you only know resilience when you need to meet that
Rock
deadline.
bottom.
Yeah, like you need to be able to pay for your accommodation, you know, excuse me, and bills, and then still also function in life.
I tell people, yeah, there are many things that and many layers that come to make a form of person
Mm.
that we never really know about. Like people having the perception that you're doing well because you work. And I knew the behind the scenes because the main reason why me and Nkosi are friends is because to a certain extent I'm his mentor.
Mm.
So not even to a certain extent, I'm your mentor. So like when did it start? In 2021?
Yeah,
22.
no,
22
22.
December. I was working and I had a conversation with him. It didn't look okay. It was weird because I wasn't really intending to speak to the person. I was like, hey, bye, because I was tired. I'd come back from work.
Mm.
And then you sat down and now you were pouring out your heart. And I was like, one, this guy doesn't really know me like that. Like, we just know each other. We know of each other, but we don't know each other. And now he was pouring his heart to me. And I was asking him questions because I like to ask people questions.
Mm.
And he was just talking and talking and talking. And I asked him one question. Do you remember that question?
Ah man, I didn't remember because I don't remember. For me, I was always told that just always tell someone that ain't your friend your problems.
Mm.
You know when they say you talk to a
Talk to a
barman,
stranger.
so they say talk to a barman and he'll give you like solid advice. That was you, right? I was like, I don't know you, but I've heard of you through Swad. And so I was like, bro, I was like, yeah, Swad's a cool person. So like, Swad's saying some solid shit, like, yeah. I was like, you know what, bro, you do get to know this. Not you get to know, like, you know what, yeah, I'm just gonna like, life is dangerous. Smacking me on both cheeks. So yeah, talk to me. And
I
when I
asked
saw a
you one
question.
question. I was like, what do you do that you show yourself love? How do you show yourself love on a day-to-day basis?
Like that. So
And you could not answer it. And I said, it's fine. You don't have to answer me. I just need you to go and think about it. And you know, until today, I will never forget that conversation because I feel like I sent you messages sometimes when I talk to you. I tell you, I'm so proud of you because it's like, out of that one question, you called me like 2 weeks later. You're like, Liz, I found the answer. And I'm like,
Crackhead that I am probably did do that.
I'm like, Liz, I found the answer. And I was so confused because I was like, answer to what? I've not talked to this person since the last time they poured out their heart. And then you're like, no, you asked me this question and I found the answer. So I went and I thought about it. And this is what I do now. And I was like, I can work with this person. Because I tell people, I can't help a person that can't help themselves.
No, that's
Because
life.
in real sense, yeah, I'm not helping you. I'm just giving you a different perspective. How many times have you come to me and you tell me this, and I don't give you a solution. I just give you plenty of more questions for you to go and think about. And you always come back saying, okay, so you know when you said this, I didn't say nothing. You went and you figured it out by yourself.
No.
But the only difference is, yeah, I just give you a different way to think about it.
But that's how life is like, you know, and that's what we don't have. We don't do for each other, right? Like, not a lot of people have that kind of comfort where they can go to someone and ask them, "Can you please help me with this?"
Yeah.
Because we don't want to say, "Can you please help me?" Because we want to always make it sound like we're Mr. Know-it-all, Mrs. Know-it-all. And life is not like that. People have best friends for 12 years, right? But they never really get to know the person behind the plans. Because at the end of the day, that's what you put up. But when you meet someone and you haven't been friends for years, but you see that there's growth of that individual, you always want to understand how they think. And it always comes to the point where you a lot of people have that.
Yeah, man. I think it's.
You see,
I would
it's
give
tricky.
you your own flowers, man.
It's
It's like
tricky.
I find so much joy in helping people. And I say that because for me, and I funny enough, I was telling someone that it's funny enough, but then they were like, no, it's not funny. That most of the people that I help are men. They're like the easiest point of vulnerability that people can get, especially males, is female. So when I help somebody, and it's not intentional that I want to help them, for me it's just like God has placed you in my hand, and I have to help you. I can't throw you to somebody else so they can mistreat you or maybe do something worse to you than what you feel. And at that time, I was just like, well, this is what I have now. And this is what we need to do. And I think it's just that the small increments that you see in a person that later on, like, because I remember I started working as well, and you would still text me, like, when are we meeting each other? And now you go to the point where now when you started, like, life started hitting you so hard, you stopped texting me. And now I was the one that was like, okay, I've not seen you in a month. What is going on?
Yeah.
Where are you? I need to see you. I used to work my at the time. And I say, I'm only saying this, guys, not to sound like, I'm holier than thou, I'm the mother of, helping people, I'm the best mentor in the world. I'm just giving a perspective of what our friendship basically looks like. But at first, he was the one that was interested in making the actual change in his life. But then when he got to the point where he didn't have anything in him, I had to remember that, like, I'm working with this person.
Yeah, man.
I'm helping this person, and I've not had anything from them. Where are they? What are they doing? What could they be possibly doing that they disappeared like that? I feel like we also just assume sometimes that, they're busy. Have you asked them if they're busy? Have you checked on them if they're busy? Like, it's just making it an intentional point to actually care about a person and say, I know this person normally does this and their pattern has changed. What could be the reason? What is it like, for, because I know, I'm
Be honest
not.
with the question. Be honest with the question. Be honest with the. When you think that long, you just want to lie to me now. So be honest with the question.
What is it like being mentored by a woman?
Honestly, I've never given it thought, right? Because for me, I always look, I always seek advice, and I always seek mentorship, not from one, but different perspectives, So for me, just like get it from a woman's perspective, it's extremely overwhelming at times. But if you're speaking to someone like a woman that's very upfront about it, like a gent would be, being like, you know what, and has a sense of understanding through feeling and emotion, because you also look at something from an emotional perspective, whereas a man will not do that.
Yeah.
A man is very logical. He's a logical thinker, and we all know that. So you will always bring in an emotional aspect that I will never touch on, or will never think to touch on, because I am not an emotional individual.
Yeah.
It's as recently that I've taught myself emotional. Because I've been hiding that side of me because of what I've gone through.
Yeah.
Pointing back to a lot of trauma. That's why you rather break hearts than have a heart broken.
Yeah.
Because it's that trauma, right? It taught me that, you know what, bro? Heart of steel, uranium is better than a fuzzy heart.
Oh my god.
Deadass, that was my view of life.
And I feel like there's some people that will completely resonate with that.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what, right? And outside of you, there was also Jackie. Let's go. She would always be like, yo, man, look at life like this. And I was like, all right, great. So it was like small increments of like looking at how life should be. When people would do it, right, I wouldn't really listen. I was still so fixated on life. You know what? Life is a dog. Straight up. Like, that was me, even when I got to add life was a dog. I never looked at life like life is never gonna be fair. And you start asking me different questions that hit home differently. Because they just always ask me from I identify the problem, but I wouldn't really answer it because I would always deflect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd always be like, bro, not deflecting.
Answer the damn question.
Yeah, man. I was like, oh, man, this person. So at first you're like a child, and
yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, like you just don't want to answer the question, but then you're very persistent with them. Other people are not persistent with those questions, but you're persistent in the way that you'd always change the word.
Yeah, and break it down.
Not break it down. A word. You don't even realize it.
Really?
Yeah, you just change the word. Yeah. And I've always realized that it's the same question, but you just phrase it differently. I was like, you know what, I might as well just answer this question. So for me, I was like, I bet, you know what, bro? If you can beat the same drum and realize that you can't attack the question or attack the individual the same way that you think you'd attack another individual, then you just so now I've just changed that altogether. I always try to listen from different people's perspective. Even if I can't understand, I'll be like, okay. Or I'll just come to you like, bruh, someone asked me this question. I do not know what they're trying to say. Maybe you can understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll ask my girl, and she might not know. But from what she's saying to me, I see the perspective.
Yeah.
Because it's all about having perspective. That's just life.
It is.
Right?
I tell people, I don't do a lot for people.
I don't
I
either.
just change your perspective. I just want you to, maybe if you see it like this, you will change it. Because I don't make you do anything.
But it's also
I just help you to
behaviors.
see it in a different way.
It's like the behavior that you taught yourself. Like, why don't you listen? Right? Why are you stubborn? There's certain things that you just don't want to learn because you feel like you're right.
And I think that's where my strategy comes in. I poke things that you don't like.
Sometimes that's you. I'll be honest with you. There'll be times that I'll ask you, even if I'll ask you the following, you will deflect, but you will end up answering it.
Yeah, man.
Right? Yeah. For me, it's like I won't change the way I phrase it.
You see, that's one thing between our friendship here. I try with you. You don't try.
Because I know you're going to say what you need to say.
You don't try at all. Like, at least I try and change the wording, okay? He does not try. And I think the more you keep on asking me the question, the harsher you become. And I'm just like, okay, I get it, I'll answer it. Or sometimes I actually just don't. I'll think about it on my own, I'll come to the conclusion, but I'll never give you the satisfaction to believe that, yes, you actually were hurt and you made me change my mind. Because I feel like as well, I tell people I'm a very difficult person sometimes to deal with. I need a very strong person, a stronger person than me, to make me change a perspective.
You know what's the funny part? Because the thing is, I know when you've changed your perspective.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I can even see the way you greet me.
This is me.
It's the way I know. It's like, you know what? You thought you could get me.
This is me.
You know that saying that says, "Got you, bitch."
This is nice. Yeah, this was nice. Really.
No, it actually doesn't. Because for me, at the end of the day, it's like I'm not gonna ruin you. Like,
you've already done it.
I know, right? But I didn't want to make you feel like I did.
Anyway,
let's go to the next topic.
Before I get salty.
And you'll hold it against me. Huh? You'll hold it against me.
Oh yeah, it's the beginning of 2024. Give me 6 months to recover. Then we'll have a conversation. Yes. No, I'm joking, guys. Some people can really take that seriously.
That's the worst part. I've seen it in life. People hold stuff to you. I really look at them like, dude, what makes you want to hold on to that certain saying that, or whatever action that I did towards you?
Yeah.
And I know I'm someone that I don't do that anymore because of what I've gone through. But when I did, I was like, no, it's not healthy.
You don't enjoy life.
It's just not healthy, you know? Outside of not enjoy, it's just not healthy. And it's a certain part of you that actually dies.
Every time.
All the time. For me, that's why when someone's like, are you angry at me? I'm like, I'm not angry at you. Because I tend to look at life like Joseph did. From the Bible. His brothers sold him. A man was a slave. He forgave his brothers.
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes I won't lie to you. As humans, we can't forgive. There's something that you say, I can never forgive you for. But once you do and you let it go, you look at the individual
very different.
Even if you don't become friends anymore.
Then you just see them differently.
No, not even. Like, when you see them, there's nothing on towards them. And I'm sure you can look at me and be like, right, that's low key, but it's not you. It's not me, but that's the way I want to live life, like Joseph did. And that's when you actually understand what happiness is.
Yeah. Because I tend to tell people, the more you see yourself, the less you hold people at home.
Yeah.
Because if you believe that you're a sinner, right? And you also fault other people, or you do other people wrong, that means you hold very small room for you to be self-righteous.
That's right.
And once you get to the understanding that that's why I tell people, like, if you're a Christian and you've accepted your sin and you have accepted and understood why we need Jesus, I find it very, like, scary, I would say, when I see people being self-righteous, when I see people acting like, I can't forgive a person because they did this and this and this to me. I'm like you've not yet carried your cross properly, because it's like, if you truly understood that there's some people that until today they can never forgive you for something that you did to them, how dare you crucify somebody else for a mistake that they did to you? You're someone's villain in their story.
Honestly, that is like, I won't even lie to you. Not all heroes wear capes. I'm a villain in life, so I totally understand what you're saying when you
Like,
come with that.
it takes a lot, and I know it, but until you love yourself, right, you can never extend grace to another person.
Never.
Never in your life. There's some people that don't love themselves, so now they hate everybody else in the world because they're uncomfortable with themselves. There's some people that have never forgiven themselves, so they can never forgive anybody else. That's why when they say love your neighbors, you love yourself. It's real.
It's real,
Because
man.
until you see yourself as raggedy as you are, as ratchet as you are, as if you think you're perfect, look in the mirror again. But until you see yourself as who you truly are, with all your flaws, all your faults, insecurities, and everything, you may never really see another human being. You will see them, but you don't see them. So yeah, anyway, I want to ask you a couple of questions because we're on this topic. What is your biggest motivator to keep on going?
To keep on going. Uh, I'm I It's a lot of things, right? But like the experiences I make
Mm-hmm.
outside of experience, I know it's very generic. Like when I apply for something or when I do something, so a lot of the time I didn't need to do it because I wanted to do it. I was doing it because someone told me to.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to like understand what I want for myself and what I like. So that's why, for instance, I went for the MUN,
Yeah.
Model United Nations.
Yeah.
After working sales, I realized I like tech sales. So I like things that communicate,
Yeah.
and that what motivates me at the moment. Like if I can start a company that does these type of things, like DMUN,
Mm-hmm.
actually allow Africans to have more voices. Because as much as we have voices, we don't really have voices because one, internet's expensive. Two, there are certain limitations that we're faced with. And three, we we're only now starting to realize that we don't need to rely on our parents and we can be our own change makers.
Yep.
So for me, what's motivating me is, to look after my cousins, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and seeing my brother do what he's doing in England, going out there and doing computer science and artificial intelligence, freaking tough as field. Low-key compete with your siblings. I won't lie to you, right? Like, I will never
Is
say
it
this.
competition or inspiration?
Inspiration. He inspires me. I will never say this to his face.
He's probably gonna hear it.
He's very arrogant and stubborn, and he'd be like, yeah, as he should. But he inspires me because I looked after him even if I wasn't there a lot of the time. I did look after him, but for me, getting to what I want to get to, I want to be able to look after my people because that's something we don't do. To look after your own. So that's what motivates me.
I mean, you did say you're family oriented, so
Yeah, so for me, it's like getting to where I want to get to and ensuring that it's generational as well. Because we don't want to do something that's for short term.
Yeah.
In the sense of, yeah, I was wealthy now, but then what are they gonna say of you when you
And the
die?
people after you die are struggling. It doesn't make sense to me as well. I want to make, like,
What do you want to do outside of this podcast?
Create communities around the continent that push the same exact thing that you said, giving people their voices back.
Yeah, like that's one thing we're trying to do.
Because I feel like a lot of people feel like they can't make change, and that's a lie. A majority of people actually have phones now, and a lot of people have some sort of access to the internet. And if you just give people or remind them that it's not the government that only controls you, that you also control something, and you have an impact to one or another to the world, not just the continent. And reminding them that, like, I know it's hard. I know, like, the government hasn't done you any justice, but like, as young adults, there's more that you can do. You have like 20 years more of your life to make a difference, and if you start now, you can do it. You know, that type of thing. And I think that's why even conversations like this are important, because then you're giving people the awareness that, like, it's not just me who's going through this. You know, there are real people out there, and they're also trying, and they're also making it at every stage of their life. You know, like you just said, you've been through a lot of, family trauma, you've been through racism, xenophobia, and stuff like that, mental health issues, and that was quite recent. And I'm pretty sure there's
still
some
ongoing.
Yeah.
Things just don't.
They just never stop.
Right?
They never stop.
That's one thing we don't realize, is that when someone says something like, "Yeah, I'm going through this," we'll go brush it to the side, like, we know you're gonna go through it. It's just a phase. It's not a phase.
It's not.
You know, like, if you look at the statistics in terms of black people that are actually killing themselves, you know, it's because they don't have a support.
They don't have somewhere, like an environment
that they can
to actually say that
I have a problem.
I'm not okay.
Yeah, like I know 3 people through the course of December. I only found out when I got home because they didn't want to tell me. They were my close friends. I was like, what? They're like, yeah.
Damn.
School. It was all school related, others health related, or one was health related, but the 2 were school related, right? And they were males. So I was like, so it's clear.
There's an issue.
Yeah, there's a gap that we're not touching on, because he felt like he couldn't pay. He was being overwhelmed. They were both being overwhelmed with schoolwork. They didn't have people that was teaching them. And also, there are not enough platforms that are student orientated that actually teach them how certain things that they're doing with regards to markets. So I had a friend that starts a company, sold it for 900 million rand to Varsity College. So it's a student-led academic service for the students by the students at Varsity College, Santi. So you download the app, you get lectures, notes, everything from students that have done it and are currently doing it. So
that's a really good initiative. So
you're not behind. You actually know what's happening. You try to do this rather than something, but it's working. So for 900 million, and he's doing fintech now.
Yeah.
He's investing in small companies and whatnot. But it just goes to show, like, it's your mindset that allows you to get you to where you want to get. The fact that he was able to do something during COVID, sorry, for 900 million rand. Are you hearing that?
And he's in fintech. Give him 10 years.
I was like, yeah.
Give him 10 years.
100 million. Not, like, 2. But it
was bad still.
That was bad. It was bad. So I was like, okay. And not 900, and I've also like 100 million.
That's a lot of money still, bro.
But still, for him to be able to tap into that market, it just goes to show that we are able to make change.
Change can be made.
And he doesn't have a degree in coding. He did that during COVID.
Yeah.
Using YouTube.
Yeah.
And all of that. So for anyone that wants to make money out there, just ensure yourself, or just make sure there's always going to be a gap in the market.
Always.
Never feel like if someone is doing it, you can't do it. You might find that they're not even making money, or their strategies they implementing aren't cohesive, and they're not actually going to get them anywhere, or they're making money, but they're not really making it because there's some flaws or shortcomings that they come into that you won't. So you go get that bag and you keep pushing, and never let anyone tell you can't. That is one thing we've never told each other, right? Is that you can do it, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna kick you, but if you keep pushing, then you know that you're getting there.
I saw Jay-Z said something about that this morning.
Oh, what? About his wife?
About the Grammy.
Yeah.
The last statement that he said, I don't know if word for word, but he said the same thing. Keep on keeping on, something like that.
Nah, he was right. He was right. He's basically saying that, some people are in categories that are not, they're not even supposed to be in a category, but for some reason they're there. I was shocked. I was like, yeah, but that's true though. That's true though.
Yeah.
Jay-Z said the most Grammys, never won album of the year. That doesn't work. It doesn't work, like realistically speaking. And when I get nervous, I tell the truth. But those are his words. When I get nervous, I tell the truth. And to an extent, that's all of us.
Yeah.
I will not say something to your face if I don't feel like I need to say it. I'll get nervous before I say it. But he was right about it. Because standing on business. All you gotta do is stand on business, gents and ladies. Like just stand on it and you'll see. Next
It's gonna
thing,
work. It's gonna work.
next thing we also investors in your company. So you go do
We
that.
will do it. We will do it. We'll come together. I'm telling you. Yeah. So the last segment is we'll talk about self care in men. I know you do a little bit of self care here and there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure this beard is well maintained. It's still growing. It's in the process, but
Is it connecting? Yeah.
it's connecting now. Last year it was not. Yeah.
Growth, please.
Growth, please. But yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So, what does self care mean to you?
Self care is actually looking self introspection and understanding. Like, bro, I need to look after myself before I try to look after people.
So how do you look after yourself?
How do I look after myself? Well, small habits. Like lately, I've been journaling. Yes, yes.
I was so happy when you said it.
Yes. If anyone's going to judge me, judge me. But it does go a long way because expressing yourself in a way that you wouldn't do to anyone else and putting it down on paper and knowing that only you will see it or you will read it and look back 10 minutes down the line.
Yeah.
That means something. It goes a long way.
Yeah.
Right? Having a support structure. Yo, gents don't do that. Okay? The fact of the matter is we believe that we can thug it out and we can show very little emotion and think that no one will gonna catch on.
Yeah.
But have that community, have that third location. You know that you can go to someone or some place where you can express yourself. Because in life, it's a bit too short for us to think that you can go through our day to day, going through the challenges, males, and thinking that you're gonna go sleep nicely at night.
Delusion is not the solution.
It's not even delusion. Like people just go through sleepless nights, like they tossing and turning because it's not even they're afraid.
I feel like you've already deluded yourself to feel like there's no other problem that can help you solve. There is no other person that can help you solve the problem aside from you.
No, they know that there's a place. They just the fear of having to express that they have to touch with that problem.
Okay, get that. I get that. Completely get
I'll
that.
be hated for what I'm saying. Some people are like, nah, that's not true. But if you sit down and actually think about it,
why have you not spoken?
Why are you still quiet? I would openly say it. Like I'm still trying to also find my feet, from last year and this year. What you wanna do? Like a lot of the time is we look at the person next to you. Majority of the time is we see that person growing fast, and you're like, bro, I need to grow as fast as that person. When your growth is not the same, it's like your shoe size, bro. Your shoe size is not the same as the next person. Yeah. Your shoe size is your shoe size. Your body grows at the pace that it's growing at. Yeah. So allow your life to do the same.
Damn. Okay, bars.
Never compare yourself, and that's a habit that we sometimes form without subconsciously realizing. But it motivates you. Like if you have company that motivates you, if you have that little community that's not even in the same location. I have my community that they're growing faster than me, but they're helping me along the way. Yeah. Right? Not necessarily giving me the keys, but giving me hints. So if you read those hints, then you probably really know what you want to do for yourself. So outside of journaling, start exercising. Gym helps. It's not always gonna be about gym, right? If you're not someone that likes to push weight, do extracurricular activities. Painting.
Sometimes gaming. Not excessively, but
yeah.
something that takes you out of
yeah, it takes you out of the current space that you're in.
Yeah.
If you have a business, you can focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of time, don't let your business consume you. That's the thing. As Gens, we
Balance.
also, yeah, we learn to, once we find a future in what that particular item is or that experience that we gain, we just we cling on to it.
Dive head on.
You know when they say dogs are addicted to you,
Yeah.
that bond that creates with you creates
Yeah.
with you for life.
Mm-hmm.
It's just same thing with the guy. Guys just won't say it. Some guys are like that. Some guys are like, "Yeah, I'm a nonchalant chick, I'm whatever, all of that." But people that are actually aware of what they do
Mm-hmm.
will tell you that. Like there's some form of connection that you build with that certain activity or thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't let the world dismay you. It will do that. But if you know yourself, you know your values, your ethics, your morals,
Yeah.
that's the most important thing about life. As a gent, if you have those things in life, then you know that you shouldn't be moved by what other people say.
Mm-hmm.
Because you built something for yourself. That's your foundation,
That
dude.
you can stand on.
That's your
If
foundation.
all your chips are like dropped today, your money is gone, you know you still have moral values that are your system, can't be shaken by, because people can take away anything, but you can't take away my values.
And the thing is, those values and ethics and morals that you have, that you build in respect among someone that you don't think respects you.
Yeah.
Like, let's say your chips have fallen. Life is bettering you. But if someone knows those three aspects of you, it's gonna be hard to build, but they will help you
Yeah.
because they know what you stand for.
That's very
So knowing what you stand for goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
That respect that you carry is timeless.
We're gonna move to the last questions. It was very fun and very deep. But it's nice. I feel like that's how our conversations are. What is the biggest takeaway you hope listeners learn from our conversations today?
Do you, dude? Dead ass, do you? Like that's life, right?
Yeah.
Don't live or try to live people's shadows. Don't don't allow people to dictate what you want for yourself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time that's what you do. You know, break the ground for yourself and build something you know you will remember, people will remember you for.
What is the next project for you? What are you looking forward to do in this, in this year?
This year, I'm trying to get that degree. Our paths are all different. Some of us want to work, but some of us want to start a business. Some of us want to work and study.
Yeah.
I'm the work and study.
Yeah.
Since I experienced what I experienced last year, and trying and doing an MSc, I think I'm trying to look for work at the same time. If I am able to get work and study at the same time, I will do that.
Mm-hmm.
So then afterwards, I have a perspective of both sides, and then I can then come to a conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me to even study what I'm studying, I had to do an aptitude test. I did not know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did an aptitude test. I realized I like logistics, but I don't really like logistics like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, sales, tech. But we'll see what life throws at you. You know, take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
If you have a goal, just know goals don't come overnight, guys. It's a micro
Baby
step.
steps.
It's baby steps, so it's micro. So you start with the small things and make sure they're realistic. Smart objectives like they taught you in universities. Smart. And if you don't know what the smart objectives are, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time specific. So that's what I'm moving on this year.
Yeah.
The smart goals. And hopefully by end of year it would have allowed me to truly know what I want. Because we will never know what we want as individuals without trying.
Love that you said that word. That's my favorite word. Try.
So things that you think you're not good at, try.
Like he said he would never journal. Here he is.
Yeah,
2024.
I did say that, and
He said it straight to my face.
I held that on for 2 years.
I kept on, and the
Look
thing is
at
that
me
I don't
now.
like to push people, so I just let it go. Like I was saying, you should try journaling. He's like, nah, I'm not cut up for that. I'm like, okay, cool.
and I was not cut out for it. But now I realize, since some of us won't do therapy, now we'll say never. Because once you say never, ish,
Then never will never like it never before.
dead ass though. The same way I said I was not going to journal, never journal. Look at me journal. So I will not go to therapy until it's warranted. I am saying this on a public platform.
Okay, so now I'll start what? Talking to you about therapy.
No. Journal is okay for the time being.
We'll start slowly.
Yeah, you know, baby steps, baby steps.
Yeah.
But yeah, like honestly, this was an awesome experience, and thank you so much for having me on the podcast.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your vulnerability, and thank you for your story and for owning your story. Because I think a lot of people don't own their story, so it's difficult for you to say the story. So thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for helping people see a different perspective of who you are and shedding light on the realities of life according to Nkosi's book.
So my book, it's Diary of Ngwenya. Not Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Diary of Ngwenya.
You're so dramatic. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. And if you would be a dear, lovely, lovely person, share it with your friends, share it with somebody that you think would need it. Take a screenshot and post it on your Instagram and tag at the It Tribe. And you know the drill. Rate, comment, share, follow,
Likes,
all of that stuff.
subscribe.
Hi.
Subscribe. And if you enjoyed this, go to the section in the podcast, screenshot it, and post it. Someone will also learn something from it, even if it's not you. But yeah, show love to Liz, guys, because she works hella hard to do this, and someone out there needs this more than you think. So show love and do the most and listen to it till the end. So yeah, thanks for having me, Liz. This is gonna be a success.
Thank you. Thank you, Nkosi, for coming. Anyways, guys, until next time, this is the It Tribe podcast signing off.
Boy.
Bye.